Let's start J-Horror-a-thon with one of the most influential J-horror movies, Ring, aka Ringu. From the research I've done, this movie inspired a cornucopia of J-horror movies, and even some Western movies as well, which I find ironic because this movie is actually loosely based off a book that was inspired by Japanese folklore. The plot is about a reporter named Riko, who tries to solve the mystery on why her niece and 3 other teenagers died after watching a mysterious video that's said to be cursed. The tape is really the star of the movie. The whole story is surrounded by this one weird tape. The tape alone I find really creepy, and we don't even get that big of an explanation on what it all means. And that's pretty scary. Riko's ex-husband also plays an important role in the movie, but he's kind of emotionless through half of the movie, except at the end, but I'll save that for later. The movie acts more like a mystery than a horror. In fact, there's barely any sight of a monster or ghost or anything of the sort. We have the videotape, but that's seen 3 times, and if we saw it more, it would get kind of repetitious. There's the notorious ending scene, which again I'll get to later, and these weird flashbacks, which are kind of scary, but I don't think are explained too well. But the movie's late 90s low-budget style and feel really gives it its horror-like atmosphere, which I really like. I don't know why, but I always liked low-budget films. I guess I like to see it as a challenge or something. But most of all, I like the feel of it. It's like, it's so amateur, it's creepy. It's like a found footage film. After watching this a second time, the best part about it is the mystery. Not only is it the main plot, but it's also interesting to see it all unravel. I heard that this movie is loosely based off a book. I haven't read the book, but I bet it was more of a mystery or less of one, because this part of the film is like 2/3 of it. Not to say that the paranormal part is bad. When it's on screen, it's good. But I feel this could have worked just as well as a mystery. Like, they think it's paranormal, but really it's just an elaborate serial killer. Anyway, about that ending scene. I don't think it's a spoiler since everyone and their mom knows of it. But man, I thought the movie was getting slow at this point. This really changed the tone just like that. And look, he starts to have emotion. This one scene that only lasts a minute is just so awesome. However, it is ruined by one thing. At the beginning of the film, we see Riko's niece, who, by the way, is named Tomoko, and her friend explain the curse and then die from it. But at the very end, we hear them explain a new plot point. Where the hell did that come from? I mean, I know it would have spoiled the movie, but still, you can't just pull something like that out of your ass. Why didn't we hear them talk about that at the beginning? Oh well. Even though I was kind of bashing this film, I still think it's a pretty okay movie. But I do think this is a good introduction to the J-horror genre. If you're someone who has never really seen a J-horror before, or just seen a few, I think this is a good place to start. If you watch more J-horror films, you'll probably see these cliches over and over again, but at least you know where they started from. Also, remember when I said that this movie inspired not only Japanese films, but also Western films? Well, in 2002, there was an American remake that I never saw, but I heard it was pretty good. Well, apparently, that remake saved American horror films. Before that, there was a hell of a ton of same slasher films. The remake thankfully stopped that, but sadly started something new. Remaking Asian films. Now that's Hollywood.